Welcome. We're here. We're live. I crazy day. Crazy day. There's so much news. And we're going to cover all of it. Yeah. So what what have you been
Where
up
do we
to?
even begin at this point? Do you want to begin with
Yeah, I don't
today's
know.
stuff, or do you want to begin with?
No, let's go back. Let's start from the top.
Let's rewind it
And then
all the way.
we'll also get to your questions, but there's there's just so much to look at.
Yeah, I mean, we have to start with Aaron Rodgers' extension that happened last week. I mean,
Yeah.
the domino fell, and then everything happened after that. But we know Devontae Adams isn't going to play under the tag. He said so today. So we're going to see what happens there. I think he'll be back, but
He'll be back. I think he'll get it together. I hope.
yeah.
They really don't have a lot of money. They need to pay him a long-term deal, but I don't know. I don't know how much he's going to be able to get. I mean, they seem to be pretty far apart. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, Rodgers is back. I mean, at this point, that feels like ancient history, right?
Oh, yeah. It feels like years ago at this point. But, I mean, there's not much there besides, Aaron Rodgers is going to continue what he's doing. Hopefully they pick a wide receiver finally. It's been a while. They've been trying.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice, right? I mean, if they picked somebody. But
yeah, MVS is getting a lot of interest.
Oh my God.
So he's not going to be back.
Why is MVS getting so much interest? I have no idea. None at all.
Wow, the Christian Kirk deal is actually more expensive than we initially thought. 4 for 84.
4 for 84?
4 for 84.
No fucking way. 4 for 84. It's a $21 million a year for Christian Kirk.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Look at Jacksonville go. Off-season champs every year. Free agents.
Not off-season champs. This is terrible. This is so much.
Free agency spending champs. More often than not.
Whatever. This is not a good idea. There's too much money for Christian Kirk. All right. Well, we got some questions in the chat. We'll get to them. From Jesse. Hey, dudes. Hope you're well. It's a whole other thing. Brady was stupidly dropped in one of my leagues back when he announced retirement. I mean, sure. All free agents flow into the rookie draft. Where would you take Brady in the rookie draft? 12-team Superflex PPR.
Ooh, this is a good question. I mean, you'd have to say like mid-second, right?
Earlier than that. Yeah, I mean, right now I have Brady ranked between the 201 and the 202, so 202 then.
That's fair. Oh. I mean, I'm not gonna argue that. I mean, how many rookies do you really want this year? Like,
not many.
2?
More than 2.
At this point, 2 that you really, really want?
More than 2.
There's gonna be a tier break after 2 for me, but
not
gonna be large.
We'll see.
I still can't believe Christian Kirk got $21 million a year.
I can't believe that Tom Brady came out of retirement.
There's so much going on.
I know. Well, here's something that happened today. Edmonds to Miami. I really wanted Hall to land there. Now I don't, from Trogdor. Well, you think that Miami, so what was it? It was 2 for 12 something and 6.1 guaranteed. Do you think that Miami is now out of the running for drafting a running back at all? Because I don't think that that's the case. I think that they're still going to draft a running back.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be Hall, though. You can see one of those second-tier guys go to Miami. Like a Rashad White, someone in that range.
I still think they could spend their 50th overall pick on a running back. Easily. Why not? Right? I mean, what's stopping them? I would sell Chase Edmonds, though. I don't have much interest in Chase Edmonds. I've never liked Chase Edmonds. Ever. Never thought he was very good. So I would sell. He's one of the harder sells for me from all this news. I just have no interest. Really. None at all. And they could still get another running back in the draft. Even if they don't, I'm not that interested. So
I think you could still get a mid-early second for him.
you can get more than that.
Someone in this league. Someone in your league.
I think you can get more.
Really?
Yeah. People see this as like them being done at running back, and I'm not sure about that.
I don't think they're done, but
I would sell Edmonds though. I'm not interested. FF Lefty. Damn, let's go. Exciting day so far. Yeah, I wish I were feeling better. I'm very tired. Not really with it today, but it has been an exciting day. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, very exciting.
And we just answered that.
Yep.
A 1 QB league, then nothing. In late third. Okay, the James Conner deal. So the Conner deal was
3 for 21.
3 for 21 with a good amount of it guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, my guess is we're going to find that's really a 2-year deal. Yeah. All right. Over 2/3 of it is guaranteed. So yeah, it's probably a 2-year deal, really. Yeah. I mean, RB1 this year. I don't know if I would say he's an RB1, but if you were in Dynasty, where would you rank him? I still have him pretty low.
Yeah, I mean it's a one. It feels like a 1-year kind of thing. I mean, I know people have been talking up Eno Benjamin on the timeline, but
No, Eno Benjamin sucks. Don't waste the people's time. The people have other things to do today. This could be a 2-hour show. It's probably going to be a 2-hour show. People have other things to do other than talk about Eno Benjamin. Let's focus on someone relevant.
They're going to add someone else, I think.
I just hate Eno Benjamin, by the way. Like I just don't like him. People have wasted hours of my time talking about Eno Benjamin. So I'm firing back at the people who've wasted my time.
Eno Benjamin was part of the best Dynasty trade I ever made.
Eno Benjamin is also only dressed for 9 out of a possible 33 games in his career. No, he's one of those players that just like grinds my gears. I get asked, should I pick him up from the waiver wire like once a week? I'm like, sometimes I wish I could just tweet something and everyone would see it instead of having to answer one person at a time.
Just get like a promoted tweet and just be like, use it on Eno Benjamin.
Eno Benjamin, yeah, I could do that. Not a good use of the promoted tweet though. I would use a promoted tweet to promote this show. Come on. What else would I use it on? Ask DLF doesn't need me to promote it, but this show still does. All right. So where do you have James? I mean, just happened today. I did update my Dynasty ranks. I have James Conner at Dynasty running back 25. Probably still low, honestly. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I'd probably put him in like 21, 22. I didn't get to update the rankings yet, but
I mean, I have David Montgomery at 18. You'd rather have Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, Kamara at 19. That's a whole other story. And then it comes to, I'd probably rather have Kamara because he's actually younger than Conner. And then you get to Michael Carter, Miles Sanders, AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, Zeke. I don't know. I could see the case for Conner over Zeke at this point. I really could.
Oh yeah. I can see it. Especially after last year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. Christian Kirk is now the 3rd highest paid receiver in the league.
Interesting.
It's a bold choice, I would say.
Very
bold
bold.
choice.
I don't think he was going to get that contract anywhere else.
No, fuck no. No, I'm cursing so much today. Probably just because I'm cranky. But anyway, James Conner is probably a dynasty sell for me now. I mean, he's already 27, isn't he?
Mm-hmm,
He just turned 27? No, turned 27 in May. Yeah, I would just sell him. You can almost certainly get a first for Conner. I would just take it.
Yeah. especially after the news. Yeah, I can agree. I'm trying to look up the
But
specifics.
I have big news.
Oh,
It's not that kind of news. James Conner now ranks ahead of failure in my Dynasty rankings. Clyde Edwards failure comes in behind James Conner at this point. So, I just had to say that. It was very important. All right. FF Lefty says, Brady is now locked into play until he noticeably can't play anymore, or he wins another Super Bowl. So it's possible he's still not done after this year. If that's true, I do think it's going to be one more year, but we'll see. I mean, no, but okay. I'd rather have Malik Willis over Brady really easily in Dynasty. From Darren, would you be looking to buy Conner? We just answered that no. And would you trade the 105? Absolutely not. No. We don't do this. We never learn. We never learn this lesson, no matter how many times it comes up and up and up. When a 27-year-old running back gets a massive value spike, you don't go out and spend on that running back. I don't care that the contract is, I don't care. No, you don't. We're not going to do this. We're not going to pay up for James Conner. I guarantee you he's going to be off any teams. For me, I have no interest. And this is when you sell him. You sell him right now before they draft someone else in the draft and his value goes down. Because they have to have somebody. They have to have a backup. And no, Eno Benjamin is not good enough. They're going to sign. I mean, they're probably not going to sign a backup. They're probably going to draft someone. They spent a lot of money on Conner.
Yeah.
I mean, could they spend? I mean, who's in this draft? I mean, that they could. Who's a good complement to Conner?
Oh gosh. I mean, I would have said, if you asked me this question a month ago, I would have said Kyren Williams, but
well, Kyren Williams actually now might be around at the time that they're looking to spend on a running back. Like Kyren Williams might be available in the 4th, and that actually would be fine. It's only one way Kyren Williams could save his value. Anyway. I wouldn't hate that. Rashad White? You think he'll be gone too early?
I think he'll be gone round 3.
Maybe Tyler Algier will fall in the draft?
Maybe.
Yeah. Someone like that.
I'm not really sold on these running backs after the top 3, so.
No, I'm not sold either. Okay, we were tech issues. Yeah, okay, this is related to previous question. Elbow cough? A lot of people saying hey, and could see Spiller ending up in Miami. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. If they have 50th overall, if Hall and Walker are gone, I could see them taking Spiller.
Yeah.
But they don't have to take a running back anymore. I mean, Gaskin is a fine backup, and Edmonds is kind of a okay starter. Like, you could do worse. There are going to be worse running back rooms in the NFL than that. So they don't have to draft a running back. But I would lean that they draft somebody, probably in the 3rd or the 4th round, if I had to guess. The one I actually could see it being, I could see them going for Walker if somehow he's there at 50th overall, but he's not going to be. Okay, so that's all the live questions for now. So let's go back to the very lengthy show sheet. There's so many things. Do you think we're done with the Aaron Rodgers extension? Because we started with that.
Yeah, I think we're done. I mean,
I think we know what it is at this point. Mostly this is a dynasty show, especially now. If you have Aaron Rodgers, you make a decision now. This is it. The extension is here. Extension's here. So you know what is going to be. You either sell Aaron Rodgers today, or last week, or whenever, or you accept that you're taking the rest of Aaron Rodgers' career and it's just you come what may. Those are your options. So you do whatever. If you're in any sort of rebuild, Rodgers has to go. He's 38 years old. You don't want that kind of asset on a rebuilder. But if you're a contender, I'm keeping him. I don't have a problem with that. Ride him out. You probably can't get in return. I mean, there are still some people who will give you like Stafford plus, or probably not Russell Wilson plus now, but you could have. If you could get like Stafford plus for Rodgers, I would do it. But I don't think you can in most leagues. So Rodgers is mostly a hold. And then the weapons, I mean, Devontae Adams was gaining value, but now this whole idea that he's not going to play on the franchise tag, I don't want to hear about that. That's not good. So his value will go back up if and when he signs the extension, but any value he gained just went back down. It'll go back up when he signs the extension.
It'll be a win, not an if. Not an if. I think he will. I mean,
he really has no choice. He's going to have to take a below market offer because he's 29 now. And it's just not in his best interest to play the year on the franchise tag or sit out. So unfortunately, he's almost certainly going to be squeezed into taking less.
Yeah.
This Christian Kirk offer is not helping him, or is not helping the Packers.
No.
Like, if Christian Kirk got 4 for $84, what is Devontae Adams worth?
Double.
They're going to get something done. They're going to, I would think, but this Kirk offer really makes it more difficult. Thoughts on Trubisky? Yes. Trubisky, signed with the Steelers today. Woo.
I'm a fan.
I'm not a fan. Trubisky sucks.
I think he's good for fantasy. I think he's better than most people.
Himself. He's good for himself. He doesn't really.
He was a terrible coach, so I think Trubisky's. I want to see the money. I'm surprised the money hasn't come out for that deal. It's been signed 2-ish hours ago.
Yeah, we haven't had the money yet.
We haven't had the money yet. I don't know. I've been seeing things. I've been seeing 10. I've been seeing 15. I've been seeing 20. I think it's going to fall in the 15 to 20 range.
Depends, right?
It depends. We just have to go off of quotes of what the Steelers are saying about him right now and just guesstimate on the money.
Yeah, I can't find anything about the money.
I know. I haven't seen it. I'm shocked that we haven't gotten anything yet.
Yeah, I don't have anything about that.
I'm gonna be really interested to see what the cap hit is for him.
Well, look at it this way though. Does the Mitch Trubisky signing rule them out from taking a quarterback in this year's draft? What do you think? Yes or no?
No.
So it doesn't. So you think that they still could take a quarterback at 20th overall?
Yeah, I just don't think they'd trade up for Willis at this point.
I actually disagree. I think they won't do it. They won't do it. Willis is not going to be there. If Willis is there at 20, they would take him. But they're not going to trade up. And I don't think Willis is going to be there. I don't think Pickett's going to be there either. I think they'll all be gone. So I don't think they take one. I think that they just don't feel that, any quarterback in this draft is their franchise quarterback. And if they don't feel that way, then they shouldn't take one. If you take a rookie quarterback who you don't believe in and they end up being bad, that sets you back for 3 years. Sam Darnold set the Jets back 3 years backward. So you don't want to take someone if you don't think that they're the guy. And I don't think they're going to take one now. They have other needs. I just don't think that they take one. And it's looking more and more likely. Where are all these quarterbacks going to go? Where is Malik Willis going to go? 9 to Seattle?
Seems like the most logical fit at this point.
I would say Carolina, but
I think Carolina might land Watson.
I think Carolina is going to land Watson.
I was stunned to see the Saints are the betting favorite right now.
I don't see how. The Saints can't possibly afford that. Plus, also, the Saints have 18 to offer, and Carolina has 6. That's a big difference. The problem is that Watson doesn't want to go to Carolina, apparently. That's what's actually holding this up, is what I hear. If you go on Twitter, that's what it says. Which is odd, because I thought he did want to go there, but clearly not. He must not like Matt Rule. I can't blame him.
He's going to meet with both teams in the next, 24, 48 hours?
Yeah, I heard he was going to meet with both teams. The Texans want to deal with Carolina.
They want
yeah. So if Carolina can persuade Watson to go there, that's where it's going to be. And the other thing about Deshaun Watson is, and we went through this, we've gone through this with Watson before. Deshaun Watson is hard to talk about because looks guilty to me. I mean, the court of Tyler, there's a reason the court of Tyler is not the legal system. Our legal system is, criminal charges are very serious. You don't want to put someone in jail without, beyond a reasonable doubt. There's reason it's that way. But as of now, I see him as guilty in the court of Tyler. The court of Tyler, which is irrelevant, but, it's the court of Tyler's feelings, sees Deshaun Watson as being guilty. So that's kind of difficult to turn around and talk about Deshaun Watson. But at the same time, this is fantasy football is a game, and his points are going to count the same as anyone else's. So I'm not going to short you guys by not talking about him, but I probably will mention from time to time that I don't like him. This is my show. I mean, I don't have a problem saying it. I don't like Deshaun Watson. It is unlikely that I will change my mind until I don't feel like he's guilty in the court of Tyler. I don't know what evidence I would need to see, but as of now, he's guilty in the court of Tyler. So until that changes, my opinion on Deshaun Watson won't change about him personally. I don't like him. But it's a game. And, this isn't the first time that we've had players that we don't like as important fantasy assets. So, I'm not going to change my fantasy advice just because I don't like him. But yeah, I think I gave enough thoughts on Trubisky. We're going to circle back to Trubisky. Hopefully
we'll get back
we get off the show. Yeah. Okay. So, West Coast Chiefer says, a month ago, I traded Carter and Stevenson, Michael Carter and Ramondre Stevenson for Jacobs and a throw-in who happened to be Brady. Not too shabby now. I like it a lot better now. I said it wasn't bad before, but I like it a lot better now.
I mean, yeah, anytime you can lock in a top 5 season, probably. It's a super flex, too. Yeah, especially the super flex. I mean, I'm here for it. Yeah. Thought you worked out before then. Really works out for you now, so.
Pretty much. Assuming Mitch is the starter, he is. He's going to be the starter. I'm pretty sure. Maybe they draft someone in the second. I mean, it's possible in the second round they draft some developmental quarterback and he sits kind of like a Trask, Armand kind of last year.
Carson Strong, maybe I know his stock's falling.
Carson Strong, yeah, exactly. But Mitch is the starter. So what does that do for his weapons? Deontay, Najee Harris, Chase Claypool. So let's talk about that. We're already talking about it. So let's talk about that. So what do you think about the Steelers' weapons?
I mean, I'm unchanged on all of them. I mean, how hard is it to have a better season than Big Ben did last year?
But they weren't good last year. Other than Deontay. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I really think that you're going to see now that this is very like some other situations. I think Deontay Johnson can succeed no matter how bad the quarterback is. Chase Claypool, not so much. Chase Claypool moved way down in my rankings. I have no interest. I'm done with Chase Claypool. I don't want any part of that. Deontay Johnson barely moved. Najee Harris, I didn't move at all. Pat Freiermuth, I didn't move at all. So it's really just Chase Claypool. I don't think that Mitch is going to chuck it down the field. And, Mitch had good chemistry with Tariq Cohen, receiving running back in Chicago. Actually kind of like, for Najee Harris, I mean, he's shown the ability to pass the ball to the running back. And even though he's a scrambler, he hasn't had any issue with targets to the running back. So I actually kind of like that. No issues there. My big issue is with Chase Claypool. I don't think he's going to support 2 wide receivers. He never did. Why would he start now? So I don't think so. So Chase Claypool is just not for me.
Yeah. I'll probably move him down a little bit, but not as much.
I moved him down a lot.
Yeah.
I moved him down almost a round of value.
But yeah, Deontay's unchanged. He's good at football. Like, what more do you want out of a dynasty wide receiver?
Deontay is really good at football. I think Deontay's almost quarterback proof. I mean, he excelled as a rookie in the Mason Rudolph year. I'm not worried about Deontay Johnson. This is a buying window for Deontay Johnson. If there are people who are worried. Chase Claypool, though, I was getting out before, and I'm still getting out now. Maybe this would have been true a month ago, but Desmond Ridder, I think there's a decent chance Desmond Ridder goes in the first round. And where does Pittsburgh pick in the second round?
I think they pick in the same spot.
Yeah, they pick in the same. They have the same. They didn't trade their pick or anything. So they're 52. He's not going to be there at 52. So he'll be long gone.
Yeah. Which before the combine, you were correct. We could probably see him going there, but.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's kind of one of the spots I had circled for Ridder. You know, Pittsburgh at 52 was one of them. Yeah, for sure. Atlanta at 58, but now I don't think he's not going to be there.
I see the Lions a lot at 32. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Lions at 32? I could see that. I'm not sure he's even going to be there, though. He's getting a lot of hype lately. But I guess, I mean, there just aren't. I mean, after it goes New England, Vegas, Arizona, Dallas, Buffalo, Tennessee, Tampa, Green Bay, Miami, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Detroit. So if someone doesn't go at 20 to Pittsburgh, it's going to be a long wait after that.
Yeah.
Possible there's only 2 quarterbacks picked in the first round. There aren't a lot of openings.
They closed up pretty quick. We'll see what happens, though. I don't know.
We'll always see. All right. I think we're done with Aaron Rodgers. What about the Russell Wilson trade?
Yeah, we haven't got a chance to talk about that one. Russell Wilson going to the AFC West. The division's loaded.
So loaded.
You know,
Derek Carr is not bad, but he's clearly the worst quarterback in that division.
Yeah, he's decent, but he's not bad. So it's just
actually pretty good. He's underrated.
It's unfortunate the way that shook out, but
so we've had some more time to digest this one. So Russell Wilson, let's spot him in your quarterback rankings. Would you rather Russell Wilson or Trevor Lawrence?
After today, that might have changed a little bit. They're really committed to. I'm gonna go Trevor. Okay. Russell Wilson or Trey Lance? I gotta go Trey Lance there too.
I'll go Trey Lance, but I will say I have some concerns that the Jimmy Garoppolo deal has not been executed yet. Are you worried about that? Because I am.
A lot of the quarterback spots are closing up, but I see the Colts right there, and I see the interest, and I see the.
Jacob Sanderson will literally kill them. He'll literally kill the Colts if they have James G as their quarterback. But just for that reason, I want to see the Colts make the deal. Just because I'd enjoy it. Just that. Sometimes I just want to watch the world burn.
What other options do they have at this point?
They have no other options. They're going to trade for Jimmy G. It's just, I just am a little concerned that the deal hasn't happened yet.
I mean, Winston, maybe. I mean, that's about it. That's like the only other option. And that seems like a kind of a long shot at this point.
Yeah. Well, Winston news, I think, will come pretty soon. But I think he's going back to New Orleans.
Yeah, if unless Watson goes there, I think Winston will come back. But
well, I think that everyone's kind of waiting on Winston. For some reason, the Steelers, I think, were just not in on Watson. I think that was all garbage. I think they were never interested. They were never going to do it. They just weren't going to go there. So they just made their move with Trubisky. But I think the Saints and the Panthers are waiting. They're waiting on Watson, and then they'll move on to the next option. But anyway, Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford?
There's probably like the first choice. I'd probably go Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I wasn't before, but I think I'm going to take Russell Wilson now with a superior weapons. Close. Maybe not. Russell Wilson does run a little bit.
I mean, Odell had the injury in the Super Bowl. Robert Woods, we don't know how healthy he's going to be when he comes back. Cooper Kupp's obviously a monster. We know that. Yeah. But he's got a lot over there. And, I don't think the Broncos are going to re-sign Melvin Gordon, so maybe it is Javonte's season.
No, Gordon is gone. I mean, we got that. I mean, Ben Albright, as much as people dislike him for a lot of things that he says on Twitter, he's usually pretty accurate about the Broncos, and he said Melvin Gordon is as good as gone. So I'll take that as pretty much done deal. Melvin Gordon's going to sign with the Chiefs. Like, this is happening. I'm manifesting it to just put a nail in the coffin of failure. And what about Deshaun Watson, though, versus Russell Wilson? I'd rather have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. At this point, we could assume he's going to get some length of suspension, but...
Well, the thing is that now that the grand jury has come and gone, the possibility of Watson never playing again is essentially off the table. He's going to play. It's when, not if now. I think the worst case scenario is that Watson is suspended for the entire 2022 season. And I find that to be unlikely. Unfair. I think that's how he should be suspended for that. But I think that's unlikely. Even if I think that's unlikely, I think that's the worst case scenario. And if I knew that was happening, I'd still rather have Deshaun Watson over Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is a more reliable fantasy asset than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has not been a reliable fantasy asset recently.
He's been quarterback 5 whatever year he's played, basically.
Yeah.
Year.
So yeah, I have Russell Wilson right now at quarterback 11.
I'm at 12.
I'm getting worried with Trey Lance, though. Russell Wilson might move up to quarterback 10 if this Jimmy Garoppolo deal continues to not happen. Like, if we get past this week and the deal hasn't happened, then I'm going to start to worry. If San Francisco is willing to start the new league year with Jimmy Garoppolo on their cap, I will be worried. I expect that deal will be completed in the next 3 days. I'll be worried if it isn't. It really should be.
And if the Colts fill that spot, I don't think Jimmy G goes anywhere else.
Where else even is there at this point?
There's nowhere.
I mean, there's New Orleans, if for some reason they thought that was a good idea. There's Houston, I guess. I don't know why they would do that. And there's Carolina if they miss out on Watson.
That could be one that I'm missing. Carolina.
But
Will Dissly get $8 million a year? Nice. Good for Will Dissly. 3 years, $24 million.
From who?
Seattle.
Why?
They did just trade for Noah Fant, so that is Gerald Everett's still under contract, correct?
No, Gerald Everett's a free agent.
Okay, I'm missing that one. Okay, I mean,
Gerald Everett was a 1-year deal last year. But wait a minute. So they have Noah Fant, who's by the way, allegedly, so I've heard, is so good. I've heard that. Someone said that. I disagree. He's so great. Now they re-signed Will Dissly, paid $8 million a year. That is very bad. That's very bad. I don't want Will Dissly. But this tells me that Noah Fant is a waste of time. He's not going to be an every down player. How can he be? Are they going to run 12 personnel every down? Did they pay Will Dissly $8 million a year to not play at all? I don't think either of those are the case. So Noah Fant, now you're looking at a 60-70% snap share. He is now irrelevant to me. You can get rid of him. Take anything. I don't want Noah Fant at all. As long as he's there, he'll have no value. None. He's useless.
I don't know how much is guaranteed, but I don't think it matters.
3 for 24 is going to be a minimum of like $10 million guaranteed.
12 range, yeah.
That's crazy. I don't understand. What has Will Dissly done to earn this kind of contract at all? What has he done?
The only thing I remember about Will Disley is the short little streak. I forget what year it was, because I don't remember, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That short little streak where he's like a tight end one.
And, don't get me wrong. I like Will Disley. Like, I kind of have a soft spot for Will Disley. He's a player I like, but he's not worth anything. I mean, you can find tight ends like that anywhere. And he hasn't done anything in years. This is a stupid contract. And you know what? I think that Seattle is proving that they're an incompetent organization. Completely incompetent. I don't understand this at all. But what that means is they don't see Noah Fant as anything special. You don't spend $8 million a year on another tight end if you think the tight end that you have is all that great. So, zero interest in Noah Fant moving forward. You can add Will Disley, I guess, to the bottom of your roster if you have to. But Noah Fant, he can go back to being Noah Can't, which is what I've often called him.
I mean, I had that thought about Seattle. What was it, like a week ago when they released Bobby Wagner? Didn't even tell him, like, come on.
Yeah, that's not good either. That's really bad.
He was like one of the best players in the franchise past 10 years. Like,
I don't understand that.
That was kind of dirty, but
the Saints retained Deontay Harris.
Yep, Deontay Hardy.
Oh yeah, Deontay Hardy now. Yes, he changed his name.
Was it okay? So
yeah, I talked about this from Richard of Fournette's value if he resign. I talked about this on my short video about the Tom Brady, and again, it was an if then. It's still an if now, so we're not going to spend too much time addressing if. But go back and watch the Tom Brady video I recorded on this channel, and I do talk about that more. But it is still an if with Fournette.
I think it's more certain now, obviously, but
yeah, but I said that at the time. Nothing's changed between now and then and now. Okay, so we still are not even done with the Russell Wilson thing. So we talked about Russell Wilson. I don't know. We probably think that Melvin Gordon is gone, but that's not really has anything to do with this trade. What about Sutton and Judy? What about them? How do you feel about Sutton and Judy?
I mean, you have to insert the rocket ship emojis, right? Like, from where they were, at least.
Sure.
I think they're both going to have big years.
Oh, well, we don't agree.
No? You don't think Sutton's going to have a big year?
No, I don't. I don't. Why would I? I have 2 years of failure. 2 years of failure. Why on earth would I expect success now? Sutton is so overrated. I mean, if you look at his 2019 season, he was vomitly inefficient on massive volume and really didn't impress me. And then he goes out and gets injured. And in 2021, he's so unbelievably horrible. Outside of the few games Jerry Jeudy didn't play, which is not a coincidence. Overrated. Not a fan of Courtland Sutton at all. Jerry Jeudy, I've always had a soft spot for Jerry Jeudy. I think Jerry Judy's very good. And, if Jerry Jeudy can't succeed now, he's not going to. But I do think Jerry Jeudy succeeds. This reminds me a lot of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf if DK Metcalf wasn't good. And the only reason DK Metcalf, who didn't really mesh well with Russell Wilson, was able to do much was because he's DK Metcalf. He's special. He's a special talent, special athleticism. Courtland Sutton is if you took all the good parts of DK Metcalf away and just kind of left 60% of him. That won't work with Russell Wilson. Not now. Maybe it would have in the past, but it's not going to. So Courtland Sutton to me is going to be a disaster. And his value went up. I mean, I'd rather have him with Russell Wilson than with Teddy Bridgewater, who was even worse. Teddy Bridgewater was the worst quarterback possible for Courtland Sutton. So this is an upgrade. But in Dynasty, I have Courtland Sutton at wide receiver 38. So I have zero interest in Courtland Sutton at all. Jerry Jeudy, I have a wide receiver 20.
Yeah, that's a fair ranking. I mean, I like Sutton more. Sutton's basically my Jerry Jeudy. I wish I had a soft spot for Sutton coming out of SMU. So
I just never see it. I don't see it. What is it about Courtland Sutton that's so good? He's not efficient. He doesn't really get open, not to the level you would want. And he really just hasn't delivered on that consistently, the contested catchability, the big plays that he was supposed to out of college. He's been good, but he hasn't delivered what he hasn't been the superstar that we expected outside of a spurt here and a spurt there. That's the thing. Like, I just don't think he's all that great. I really don't.
I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's DK Metcalf, of course. I'm not going to go out there and say that, obviously, but he's on a whole other level. I think Sutton's a good receiver.
Yeah, I just don't like that he's only caught 56% of his passes. 56% of targets. It can't all be that they're all bad. It can't all be that every target is bad, because there are
air yards for 10 weeks last season.
Yeah, and how many of those air yards did he actually convert into anything? See, like Curtis Samuel led in air yards in 2020, and that didn't translate to anything after that at all. So I'm skeptical about Courtland Sutton. He never looked the same after his injury. He never in 2021 showed me 2019 Courtland Sutton. Never, not even for a minute. I never saw it. So I'm skeptical that I can't prove that guy is still in there. And, he caught 59% of his passes, but Jerry Jeudy had caught 67.9. He had more yards per target. Tim Patrick, more passes caught, more yards per target. It can't all be that the quarterback is bad. It's not all on the quarterback. Some responsibility has to go to Sutton. So that's why I'm out. It's mostly the splits with and without Jeudy. These catch percentage, yards per target splits, it's all bad. It's all telling me that he's not good. So I'll go with that over the mystique of talent that in 4 years really has not consistently showed up. So yeah, Courtland Sutton is one of the biggest sells for me from all of this news, from the whole thing, everything we're talking about. He's one of the biggest sells. He's someone I want off my team immediately.
I'll take the chance and hope that the touchdowns are there, but I'm not like his value seems a little inflated now. I agree that he's a sell, but I'm saying I like him.
If I could get, and I hate this player, so I'm serious. If I could get Rashad Bateman for Courtland Sutton, I'm doing it all day. All day. Just give me Rashad Bateman. Let me start over with someone who's much younger.
I mean, I'd do that in a heartbeat, but I also really like Rashad Bateman. But
some people just see Lamar, they see just no hope, and and they see now Russell Wilson, they just think that Courtland Sutton's magically going to be a high-end wide receiver 2 again, and I don't see that. I don't think I'm going to rank Courtland Sutton inside my top 30 in redraft. So, no interest.
Yeah,
easy sell.
You're going to have no Courtland Sutton on your teams.
No Courtland, but I never had any Courtland Sutton. Not since the injury, essentially. So, since early 2020, I have no interest in Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was very much a Jerry Jeudy person. So, essentially, since Jerry Jeudy was drafted, I've had no interest in Courtland Sutton at all. I still prefer Jerry Jeudy. I mean, but I will say, if Jerry Jeudy doesn't succeed this year, it's going to be really bad. There's going to be no excuse. There's no excuse and nowhere to hide. If he can't succeed with Russell Wilson, who, I don't think Tyler Lockett is as gifted of a player as Jerry Jeudy, naturally. So if Jerry Jeudy cannot do something, I don't want to hear an excuse. An excuse won't cut it. All right. It's actually $8 million a year for Will Dissly. Makes Fant feel even worse. I'm just done with the Seattle front office. I think that they need a new coach, a new GM, and they just need to start over. Don't you think? I mean, they just seem like they're floundering. And what are they doing?
I said that, I think, at least a year ago.
And I know this is choice. I know this is I know this has nothing to do with fantasy football, but alienating Bobby Wagner on the way out the door just doesn't sound like a good idea. That's not going to make more free agents want to sign with you. It's not going to make people want to come to your team. It's not going to make them respect you as an organization. I just think that I just get a very bad vibe here. I don't want players on this team. This just sounds like it sounds like Russell Wilson, to me, was kind of holding everything together. And now that glue that held everything together is gone, and now we're just going to see a total shit show. That's what I think. I'm not impressed with the Seattle organization. Good question from Richard. This also happened today. Amari Cooper's value now that Jarvis is gone. So that's question 1. Also, where do you think Jarvis is going? Question 2. So let's start with the first one. I assumed Jarvis was gone anyway when Amari was brought in. So I guess I made the value moves already. So I didn't move it again. Did you feel differently about that?
No, I felt he was gone. There was rumors that he was going to get let go.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in Amari at all. I mean, you saw my tweet. I have 2 words for why I'm not interested.
Yeah. I wonder what those 2 words can be.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Beats me.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield sucks. He is just fantasy kryptonite. It's like you take a big vat of poison or a big vat of acid and dump it all over everyone in that offense. This is vile. I mean, somehow he made Odell Beckham terrible. And then he left, and suddenly he was good. Suddenly he was good again. I wonder why. Oh, no. Baker Mayfield. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't want Amari Cooper. I'm not going to rank him as a top 24 wide receiver next year, which is not going to have him. And then in Dynasty, I have him at wide receiver 33.
It's so tempting to take the chance because you know the talent. Amari Cooper's a good football player. You know that. But then you watch last season with Odell and everything else, and it's just hard. But
he also didn't put up good numbers last year. He was a lot worse than I remember.
Feels like a lot of risk reward. I don't know.
A lot of risk, not a lot of reward. Honestly, what's his ceiling? Wide receiver 15, if everything goes right.
Around there, you know. I don't think he'll be a wide receiver 1 in Cleveland, but
no. What about Jarvis? Where's Jarvis going?
I mean, Jarvis, if you can get him right now, if you're a contender, I'm here for it because the only rumored landing spots I've heard are all really good.
I know. I've heard Buffalo and I've heard Kansas City.
Green Bay's in there too. Green Bay made the call as well. So
did they?
Yep. So no matter what, he's getting a good landing spot. So I'm excited to see where Jarvis Landry goes. But I'll say the Bills.
I said the Chiefs earlier, but the Bills also, they really need a slot receiver. The Gabe Davis truthers would not be happy.
No.
Yeah, he would make it tough. He would make it tough to rely on Dawson Knox or Gabe Davis. Or Landry himself.
He'd be an excellent fit with Josh Allen, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Josh Allen would be amazing. But he already is. What are your expectations for Connor? We talked about this a little bit. I think there's a good chance he could be an RB1 next year. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to trust him. Because you know that Connor's durability is not there. And I do assume that the Cardinals take somebody. They can't go in with Connor and nothing. You know he has injury concerns. They could sign some sort of veteran backup. I mean, Sony Michel, someone like that. I mean, they went with a veteran last year when they signed Connor. So they could do that, or they could draft someone, or they could do all of the above. They could sign a cheap veteran backup and draft someone. Either way, though, Connor's the clear RB1. He'll be the clear workhorse. Yeah. And if he holds up to it, he'll be good. If. Oh, Jacob, you're wasting your time with this question. We already talked about this earlier. No. The court of Tyler, unfortunately, works on a more likely than not standard of proof. We can talk about that more if you want to know, but the court of Tyler says that he's guilty. So the court of Tyler still does not like Deshaun Watson. Darren Johnson says failure, Tyler voice. Oh, what? For Clyde?
I think it might have been Clyde, might have been the Seahawks front office. I don't know.
The Seahawks front office, yes. Big failure, the Seahawks front office. I give them... They actually have many strikes of failure. Many strikes. So they have a long struck out. Lazard or Boyd? Boyd, right? Lazard is irrelevant. You a Steelers fan, BJ? You upset about Mitch? I mean, I wouldn't want my team to sign Mitch if I were a fan of the team. So I'm upset. I would be. said about that.
I like Mitch more than most. I would assume, but he's no long-term solution.
I still think Jimmy gave them a better chance to win.
Yeah, but Jimmy also cost picks.
That's true, and more money. Although we still don't know what.
Yeah, we still that worries me.
Why? Do you think it's a lot more than you're thinking, or you're worried because it's not that much?
I think it's more than we're thinking because he had multiple suitors. The Giants made him an offer, so it had to have been better than that, right?
Yeah.
And I've been seeing people tweet that I follow, like they're like, just wait till you see the money on this deal. I'm like, oh boy. I don't know what that means, but who knows?
It's not going to be pretty.
We'll see. I'm interested. It should have came out by now, right?
I'm surprised. It usually comes out immediately. So Darren's asking about Clyde, the Seahawks front office, or Baker. I get to choose.
He's talking about his last comment.
Yeah, about my failure. Yeah, about failure. Well, I really think that Clyde Edwards' failure is the original. I mean, honestly, he's not the original failure. I mean, if you remember, if you've been watching my show for a long time, you know who the original failure is. It's Carson failure. Carson Wentz is the original failure. He has the longest track record of failure. But, you know, Clyde Edwards' failure is in there, and then Baker. I hate Baker. I mean, Baker seems like an interesting, fun person in some ways, but as a quarterback, he's awful. Huh. So the Jets re-signed Braxton Berrios today.
Yep.
And you think they have to get another wide receiver? I don't know if they do. Do you think they do? I mean, who are they gonna? They're not gonna sign one. I mean, they signed Corey Davis in free agency last year. They just gave Berrios like $6 million. Don't think they're gonna sign another free agent.
No, I think it's draft, but I don't know if it's 10. It might be their second round pick. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to believe that they're gonna sign the Berrios to this kind of deal, because Elijah Moore is not going to the bench, and they're gonna give Berrios $6 million to be the wide receiver 4. I think this is saying that they're probably not drafting a wide receiver in the first round. I think they'll look at a wide receiver later as like a developmental player, but it'll be a lot of investment at wide receiver, a lot of money at wide receiver if they picked one in the first round. I've been wrong before, but I would now project against it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, $6 million a year is a lot, like you said, for a wide receiver 4, and
yeah,
he was decent last year in spots he was in, but
I think they're going to draft someone, but I think it'll be later. I mean, they've spent second round picks on the position 2 years in a row. It's just one of them gave them nothing. So I guess they could spend another pick. We will see. All right.
Yep.
Did we even finish Russell Wilson? We sort of did. I think we talked enough about it. Although Drew Lock sucks. I have to get that in there.
I was coming up for you were allowed to. We're going to talk about Seattle next. I was just going to throw in if Seattle takes a quarterback at 9.
There's no way Drew Lock is going to be their starter. Also, with Tom Brady coming back, that squeezed down one more quarterback opening. So, like, they're definitely going to have a better available option than Drew Lock. That much I can tell you. Whether it's someone at 9 or, you know, there's going to be someone better.
And they would be heavily inclined to take Malik Willis at 9, especially if Carolina trades for Watson with 6. Unless Houston takes a quarterback, which I wouldn't if I were them. But you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, Malik Willis, I mean, I don't know if you saw the videos of the combine of Pete Carroll and Matt Corral. They look, you know.
Didn't see that, but
they're spending some time together, so we'll see.
They could mess it up.
But, yeah.
I just think, like, even Marcus Mariota is a free agent, and he's better than Drew Lock. I just think there's no chance that Drew Lock is going to start for them. None.
That's fair. So we have to talk about franchise tags. Franchise tag deadline happened while we were, you know, away.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, of course, Devontae Adams, who said he's not going to play on it, of course.
That's true.
Chris Godwin, which isn't surprising now that we also know the news about Tom Brady.
Yeah, so he is going to play. He's injured, so he's injured. He doesn't have much leverage. if there's a long-term deal reached, it's going to be team friendly, or he just plays on the tag.
Yeah, I think he'll play on the tag. And then you have a couple of tight ends. One that really shocked me was David Njoku. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't even understand that one. That one just boggles my mind.
And then there's Mike Gesicki, which actually kind of makes some sense. He's gonna.
That one I expected. That one I had it projected that would happen.
Yeah, he's gonna fight for that. I don't know if did he sign it yet, or is he gonna fight for the wide receiver tag?
He can fight for it all he likes, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, I mean Jimmy Graham didn't get it, so he's not gonna get it. But and then also Dalton Schultz, which we now know that they picked Dalton Schultz and Michael Gallup, who signed a long-term deal yesterday, over Amari Cooper. I don't. That can be debated. Would you rather have Dalton Schultz and Michael Gallup or Amari Cooper?
Dalton Schultz and Michael Gallup. If Michael Gallup is healthy, put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, Blake Jarwin's hip injury we talked about last week.
He was released.
That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it is unfortunate. I always liked him.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go into franchise tags much deeper. Njoku was the confusing one, and we kind of expected Adams, Godwin to go down, Gesicki too, Dalton Schultz after we knew.
I never thought Dalton Schultz was leaving. So, he gained a good bit of value, though.
For sure. But, I mean, we have so much news we have to talk about. Next up, we're trying to go in chronological order here. We're trying.
I'm trying. Yeah, I try.
Obviously, if you have a question, ask it in chat, and we'll go to that topic. We'll jump around. But Mike Williams extension, $20 million a year, which is less than Christian Kirk at this point.
Doesn't seem like as much now, does it?
No, not at all. Insane. But, yeah, I wanted him to leave and go to the Chiefs, but because I wanted to fill that hole at the Chargers. But, things happen. Mike Williams earned it, obviously.
Who would you rather have, Mike Williams or Christian Kirk?
Mike Williams.
I'd also rather have Mike Williams.
I didn't think we'd be asking that question at all coming in the year with $20 and $21 million. I did not think that was going to happen.
I didn't either, but I think Mike Williams is a little more proven than Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk really has never put it all together. I'm stunned at Christian Kirk's money. I do not understand.
No, I mean, and then you add the note that Josh Palmer stock down, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like that's now such a maybe.
Yeah, Keenan Allen is getting up there in age. Obviously, still has a couple good years.
Yeah, I would still stash Josh Palmer. If people think he's completely irrelevant, I would stash him just in case. I mean, you want someone with Herbert, but I'm a little worried that it's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate after that third round capital. We thought.
Yeah, but it didn't really. We'll see. I mean, he's got a long career. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, wasn't invested much in him in terms of rookie draft.
And look, if Keenan Allen or Mike Williams gets hurt, he could have an opportunity. You never know.
Never know. We can't predict injuries around here. We don't.
No, it's hard to predict those.
So, another big trade that went down. I know you're eager to talk about this.
Oh, I couldn't be more eager.
Carson Wentz is a Washington Commander.
What a surprise. Of the failure organization brought in failure. That's surprising. This is a disaster. I hope people listen to me and sold Terry McLaurin because I don't want him anymore. I don't want Carson Wentz. I don't want anyone on this team at all.
They took a big hit today, losing Brandon Sheriff to the Jaguars as well in the offensive line. So
it's not going to help.
Definitely doesn't help.
Are there any new sleepers or players I like because of free agency? Anyone really opened up? James Conner, but wasn't a sleeper. He gained a good bit of value by getting the money.
There hasn't been many. None of the big dominoes have fell yet, in a way.
Yeah, I mean Mitch Trubisky, right? I mean Mitch Trubisky wasn't a starter before, and he is now. So that's something. That's someone who gained a good bit of value. But if we're talking a deep sleeper, nobody's really had a path opened up that I would say in that way. Not yet.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want to buy low on, Yeah, okay. I was about to say that. Maybe.
Wait, give it a minute. Give it a minute. Just we could hear about Allen Robinson signing there in 5 minutes.
Oh, I said the disaster was coming, but this is like the only thing that's like opened up over the course of today. Like this is it in my eyes.
Rondale Moore.
Yeah,
yeah, but what if Allen Robinson signs there right now?
Oh, I'm saying it's coming, but I'm just saying that's the only player that has a potential path to new value from today's moves so far.
Would you rather have Rondale Moore or Christian Kirk today?
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm just saying that's the only new opportunity that has opened up so far. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I really like Christian Kirk. I feel like Christian Kirk needs to be even higher in my rankings, to be honest.
I would hope he'd get a lot of targets getting paid $21 million a year.
You would think, but NFL teams have done weirder things in the past.
You're not wrong. I really wanted to, joke around and say LaVisca for that last one, but
it's almost guaranteed that I'm going to prefer Christian Kirk over Juju at this point. I can't see Juju getting $21 million a year.
No.
I'm a big fan of Christian Kirk, though. Let's just see. But yeah, probably over Rondale Moore. It'll be close, though. If Rondale Moore ends up in this situation with no one else being added, maybe not. Then maybe I'd rather have Rondale Moore. But I'm not sure. I'm highly skeptical that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I'd be highly skeptical as well.
DJ Chark is someone I think they could sign.
That is true.
And that wouldn't hurt Rondale Moore that much. Because Chark is a pure outside receiver. That's someone you want. You want a pure outside receiver to go there. I just made it. My DJ Chark prediction.
The Cardinals. I'll
is that actually my prediction? I don't know. Yeah, I could see that. If you want to rebuild your value, that's a good place to go. 1 year deal.
That is a good place to go. If I would change up the answer, I'd say Detroit. Detroit's been showing a lot of interest.
Detroit, I like that one. I like that one.
Robinson.
Detroit was lining up to pay Braxton Berrios.
I saw that tweet.
Why? Amon-Ra needs to play in the slot. Like, that would have been stupid. But Allen Robinson, I like. DJ Chark, I like. But I think Allen Robinson is their first choice.
I think they're going to get one of them. Because I tweeted in the group chat that we're in not too long ago that Allen Robinson was deciding between the Jaguars and the Lions. And the Jaguars just paid Christian Kirk $21 million a year. So, like, things are looking good for the Lions, I'd say.
Yeah. I just think it's, I want to see Allen Robinson play with a good quarterback, though. Don't you?
It'd be fun to put him with Kyler Murray or someone like that.
It would be. Right now it looks like the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Browns are in play. The Browns are in play for Allen Robinson.
Interesting. Very interesting on that last one.
Yeah, the Jaguars were in play, but I don't
think anymore.
I'd
love to see him with Mahomes.
Can you imagine if they also signed Allen Robinson on top of Christian Kirk?
Do they have the money?
No.
I think they're all out, right? They have to be tapped.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Can they release Marvin Jones? I think they can. Not really. It would save a little bit of money. There is a chance they could re-sign DJ Chark and cut Marvin Jones.
There's a chance. I need to see the remaining cap situation.
Well, I'm sorry that you're a Browns fan. I'm sorry that you're stuck with Baker. I feel bad for you. Not hating. I just feel bad for you.
How much money have the Jaguars spent today?
A lot. Did we even talk about Carson Wentz?
We talked about him a little bit. You did.
I did. What did I say? Disaster. Yeah, disaster. I said that. Disaster. I made sure to get that word in there. Disaster, failure, multiple times. Like for fantasy, I didn't move Antonio Gibson, really.
Nah.
I'm more interested in to see what they do with the running back position. than what they do at the quarterback position for Antonio Gibson.
I mean, obviously, like I said before, today's going to hurt a little for Antonio Gibson losing Sheriff, but
he's used to it as a Browns fan.
Sorry.
So what about the wide receivers, though? They have Terry McLaurin as their 1. Curtis Samuel is their 2. And as of now, De'Ami Brown is their 3. Logan Thomas is their tight end. What are the odds that they add someone significant? Because if they do, then it's even worse than it was before.
I mean, could they go wide receiver at 11, especially if the Jets are signing Barrios?
Yes.
That's a possibility.
Yes, they could.
I mean, in this scenario, every wide receiver would probably be on the board at 11. I don't think, unless Atlanta maybe takes one at 8.
No, I think every wide receiver is going to be there at 11.
Yeah, so maybe they do that. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, they could still sign someone in free agency. Terry McLaurin has 1 more year of his rookie deal, so they have the money to spend at wide receiver. The Curtis Samuel deal was not that big. Yeah, it was not even $12 million a year. That seems like nothing. Yeah, he counts $12 million against the cap this year. So they could sign another wide receiver. They could sign DJ Chark. Mo Ali Cox with a neat little payday. Yeah, I mean,
I'm a fan.
But that makes a little more sense. First of all, somehow, let's just review this for a second. Somehow Mo Ali Cox is worth less than Will Dissly. I don't understand that. But the second part of this is that the Colts don't have a tight end.
Jack Doyle did retire, yep.
So, Mo Ali Cox getting a little bit, paying him, he's a veteran.
He's going to start, though.
Oh, I don't know if he's going to start.
He's probably going to start, right?
Probably. But, he wasn't relevant when he was starting last year. He's never been relevant. This is not a fantasy relevant signing. It's just that it doesn't make no sense because, they don't have a lot of capital outlaid to another tight end. I just don't understand why you would pay Will Dissly more when you already have Noah Fant. That makes no sense at all. So, and from their perspective, how are they going to get a tight end? They don't have Fant. They don't have anybody. There's no great tight ends in this draft, and there are no good tight ends on the free agent market unless you count Evan Ingram, and I don't.
I don't think they want to sink their second round, their first choice, into a tight end.
No. There's no tight end worthy of that. I mean, Trey McBride maybe, but yeah, it does kill the Kylan Granson. Not that there was much left of it.
Yeah, it does.
But you can probably just release Kylan Granson in most formats, right? I mean, he doesn't have any value left.
Nah, it's tough, but it was worth a shot. Most of these rookies, we end up picking up in the 4th, 5th, maybe end of the 3rd rounds. We didn't invest heavy rookie capital into them, so it's not like we're sinking our team if they bust. So we're good. We're all good out here.
Yeah.
Any other?
But anyway,
Colt McCoy returning as a backup. There we go.
Where?
Arizona.
Oh, nobody cares. I mean, I'm just yeah. Okay, so I think we talked enough about the Commanders. What about the Colts side of the Wentz trade? I'm glad they got rid of Wentz.
Yeah, it was good for them. I mean, they got something in return, which I didn't see coming at this point. They were going to cut him.
I didn't either. I thought they were going to have to pay to make him go away.
You think Washington just bid against themselves?
Yes. I don't think anyone else wanted Wentz. Yes, I absolutely. Yeah,
I agree.
But we can't really speak on the Colts side because we have no idea who the quarterback's going to be. It's not going to be Sam Ellinger. So it's going to be someone else. So we'll see. We'll see who it's going to be.
All signs point to Jimmy G. All signs
point to Jimmy G. Do the Steelers have a winning season?
Probably.
I'm going to say no. The AFC is so tough. I'm going to say no.
I'm just going to say probably because they haven't had a losing season in how long? And Mike Tomlin.
Well, I think this is
pull it up with Mason Rudolph. I mean,
first time for everything.
If he pulled it up with Mason Rudolph, I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Yeah. That's probably true. But we covered Carson Wentz. The next thing on the show sheet is Deshaun Watson. I think I talked enough about Deshaun Watson. I think I'm done talking about Deshaun Watson, and I'll talk about Deshaun Watson again. Oh, predictions for Watson. I made it already. This Panthers. I think he's going to go to the Panthers. And Mike Tomlin, the GOAT, he's a great coach.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think Watson's going to go to the Panthers. We'll talk about Watson more when Watson goes somewhere. The trade's going to happen soon. And yeah, I'll probably do my own short video on that when it comes out. Okay. Amari Cooper traded to the Browns. I think we talked enough about that. I have videos on this channel about the Wentz and Cooper trades. They're up here. They're in I put a separate playlist for off-season reactions. I got a lot of good feedback on those. People really seem to like my short reaction videos. So I'll keep those coming at times. I just try to keep them on one topic. And so I have videos for those that are on this channel. And if you could watch them, like and subscribe as well. If you're not, leave a comment.
Hit the bell.
Yes, hit the bell, leave a comment. All that stuff really helps the algorithm. And the algorithm has been on my side on this YouTube channel more recently. So I really appreciate everyone in the audience who's been helping out because it's made a big difference over the last 2 months with getting traction on these videos. Okay, so moving past Amari Cooper to Michael Gallup. We talked a little bit about it. It was 5 years, $62.5 million. That means he's locked in there for a while, and he's going to be their wide receiver 2 for the foreseeable future. It's going to be Cooper 1, not Cooper, Lamb 1, and Lamb 1 and Gallup 2. Do you think they're going to draft a wide receiver in the first round?
There has been so much
rumbling, right?
About Treylon Burks and how Jerry Jones wouldn't be able to pass him up at 24, and Treylon Burks looks like he's going to be there now after his combine, so they like to do this kind of stuff. I'd put it at 50-50 in the first round at this point. I think they can do it. I think they might.
I think they might too. But I think that it's not like the Lamb thing was. I think Gallup will be the 2 for a while. I don't think I want a receiver to go to Dallas. I would consider that to be a bad landing spot.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb was just a different situation at the point where he was drafted. Everyone's like, how is CeeDee Lamb not off the board yet? And Jerry Jones is like, yeah, we're going to do this. So it was different. There's no CeeDee Lamb type prospect in this draft.
Definitely not. I have CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver 3 in Dynasty.
Yeah, a big gap between him and whoever you have it to.
Yeah, huge gap. Some people continue to say that T. Higgins is better than CeeDee Lamb. They can say that if they want. I don't think they'll be proven right over the next 5 years. I think you'll see. You'll see what'll happen.
I think T. Higgins is still underrated in most of these dynasty rankings, though.
How much higher do you want me to have him?
That's a great question.
I have him at 10. How much higher do you want? How much higher can he be? His ceiling for any given year is wide receiver 7. How much higher do you want me to have him?
Probably where I put him, I probably put him at 6.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. If you're going to have someone that high, they have to have the ability to break fantasy. And I know for a fact that T. Higgins never will. Never. You don't break fantasy with a Hall of Fame talent opposed to you. You can't break fantasy. So just 10 is good for me. 6 is way too high. Unfortunately. I feel bad for T. Higgins because honestly, I think he's capable of being an alpha on almost any other team, but he's just stuck in a terrible situation. I mean, the situation's not terrible, but he's stuck in a ceiling limiting situation. Ceiling limiting. And, people who think that he's going to be top 5 are delusional. They're delusional. They would require Jamar Chase to get hurt, which we don't want. Buy low opportunity on Cooper, or is he toast? Baker, he's toast. Especially if they're looking into Allen Robinson. Can you imagine if the Browns signed Allen Robinson? If I'm out now, imagine how out I would be then. Heard someone call the shots on Burks to Dallas. He's available at 24. We just talked about that. Jerry Jones in Arkansas seems compelling, especially since they shouldn't do it. Exactly. I still think that they don't do it. I actually think the Cowboys could have some interest in Jarvis Landry as their wide receiver 3.
They could, but if those teams are calling Jarvis Landry, there's no way he's picking up the phone for Dallas. Come on now.
Maybe.
You never know, but I don't think
you never know.
You don't
I think
pass
you'd
up
rather
the
go to
Chiefs
Buffalo, but
Yeah, exactly.
I also think he wants to go to Buffalo so he can stick it to Miami. I think he's still mad about Miami.
I would agree. They did him dirty a little bit. So.
Very dirty. Yeah. They did not appreciate him.
No.
Okay, so I think we covered Michael Gallup. And Michael Gallup also just final to put a number on it. I don't even have Michael Gallup ranked that high.
I mean, it's hard.
I would have him higher. I only have Michael Gallup at Dynasty wide receiver 40.
Yeah. I mean, what's a ceiling?
This just tells you there are so many good wide receivers. There's so many good ones. Michael Gallup is just not special. So he's probably a sell. If I had to put myself on a side.
Yeah, I could get behind that one. Like, especially with the Cowboys. I think they still do go wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen it before. And
that would be
Jerry
really
Jones.
bad. Yeah. All right, I'll give you a couple names. So in that range, just to close out this topic, Michael Gallup or Juju?
No, I'd go Juju. I think he gets a good landing spot.
Gallup or Kirk?
Christian
We know
Kirk.
they're Kirk. Yeah. Gallup or Brandon Cooks?
Brandon Cooks.
Cooks. And then a couple more. Gallup versus Cortland Sutton?
I'd go Cortland Sutton.
Gallup versus Gabe Davis?
That's going to be tough once Jarvis Landry signs in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But Gabe Davis as of right now.
And then last one, or I'll have two more. Gallup versus Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow. He puts up points. He scores.
And then
He scores a lot. That's what he wants.
Gallup versus Tyler Lockett.
That's probably the coin flip right there. That's probably where I'd put him. Because Tyler Lockett's good, don't get me wrong. And they are considering shopping him.
But he's almost 30. He'll be 30 when the season starts, basically.
I'd go Gallup, but Lockett could land in a good spot. I don't know.
Yeah, I have Gallup. I agree with you on everything you said, except for that I have Gallup above Renfrow, who I don't really believe in at all. I think they're going to sign someone big.
They could. We'll see what happens. I mean, they could draft a wide receiver at that spot too.
Absolutely.
Jameson
absolutely at 22. Absolutely, that's a spot for a receiver.
Maybe Olave. He'll probably be
could
there.
be. Yeah, I mean, could be. There are a lot of options. So who knows who they're going to like? But there are a lot of choices.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not so high on Hunter Renfrow. I think it's more likely that Vegas drafts a wide receiver than Dallas.
They can be Treylon Burks.
Oh, for sure.
At 22.
For sure. I mean, there's going to be many options. So, okay. So we just covered Gallup. So what about Zach Ertz? Zach Ertz this is not, the biggest news, but Zach Ertz got, what was the money on Ertz? It was 3 years.
Was it 30?
30, yeah. But I think it's really, I suspect with most of these kind of deals, it's really a 2-year deal. 3 years, 31.7. And, I suspect that we don't have the full details, but again, my guess is that it's mostly a 2-year deal. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm a fan. I mean,
me too. Yeah.
We know how shallow the tight end position is. Very. And Ertz put up good numbers with the Cardinals. And there's going to be some, I'm not a big vacated target believer.
Neither am I.
But you have to think they chose him and they didn't resign Kirk. So I wouldn't say vacated targets. I don't want to say it, so I'm not going to say it. But
if you had to choose, you're drafting today, and you have to choose between Zach Ertz and Noah Fant in Dynasty.
Oh, that's easy. Zach Ertz.
It's easy. Yeah. I have a feeling that I'm going to end up having Zach Ertz ranked ahead of Noah Fant very soon.
100%. I mean, Zach Ertz was tight end 5 last year.
Yeah, I just know that Zach Ertz has no dynasty value at all. Like, tight end 5, I think that was his ceiling. I think that was the best you're going to get. I don't think it's going to be better next year. I think it's going to be worse. I mean, Zach Ertz is in decline. He's already 31. He's not becoming a better player. So, it's just, He's never going to have any dynasty value. I think he gave you the top 5 season he was going to. I think next year you're looking at more like tight end 10, which is not that valuable. But I will say that I have Zach Ertz now at dynasty tight end 13, actually just behind Fant. I have Fant at 12, Ertz at 13, and then you get to the trio of Alberto, Cole Kmet, and Irv Smith, all of whom I have behind Ertz at this point.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical on the talent of those players. I like Alberto, but, part of what I liked about Alberto is I didn't think there was much of a difference in talent between him and Noah Fant. But since I don't like the talent of Noah Fant, it doesn't mean that I think Alberto is anything special. I just thought that the difference between the two players was not that much, and that Alberto was undervalued and Noah Fant was incredibly overvalued. Now they're much closer. Now I have Fant at tight end 12 and Alberto at tight end 14. Now they're very close in value. And, I just rather have Zach Ertz than deal with, guys I have after him, like Hunter Henry. I don't care that Hunter Henry's 4 years younger. You're never going to be able to use Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
So, Zach Ertz is a good... If you're in a draft and you start with... Let's say you started with... your first tight end picked was, Pat Freiermuth. And then you compare him with Zach Ertz later in the startup draft, and Ertz will probably be a better fantasy asset for some part of this year, but while Freiermuth gets his act together. Even though obviously Freiermuth, I believe in the talent of Pat Freiermuth. He's someone I believe in. I want on my team. But I'm just not sure. Usually tight end, it's the third, the fourth year where the real breakout comes. I'm just not sure that you can trust him.
Some breaking news.
Oh, go for it. Breaking news.
Dolphins signed Cedric Wilson with 3-year deal. They're closing in. So that's interesting. I didn't think Cedric Wilson was going to leave Dallas.
I didn't think Cedric Wilson would have almost any free agency market at all. At all. That's very surprising to me. Yeah, to be honest with you.
That just came across. Yeah. So that's interesting. So maybe Dallas does draft a wide receiver now. You never know. Are they going to rock Noah Brown?
No. A 3-year deal for Cedric Wilson?
Yep.
Why? That's not a good landing spot for him. Are they going to cut Devontae Parker? Maybe. Miami has Waddle, Parker, and now Wilson. I guess they don't need to cut Devontae Parker. This probably takes Miami out of play for anyone else. They're not going to make a big move. That's kind of surprising, though. I didn't really think Cedric Wilson was worthy of such a contract.
Well,
you got the money?
The numbers on that. No, I just got the 3-year deal. I'm going to look.
I just don't understand that. I don't think...
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything like that. But, let's see if... it comes in while we're still live. But I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I thought for sure he was a shoo-in to go back to Dallas.
But honestly, for Dynasty, how much does this really matter? Cedric Wilson himself doesn't have much value. He's not important enough to take away from Jalen Waddle. Maybe it means they're more likely to cut Devontae Parker.
It may be. I think it's more important on the flip side, like I was just talking about with the Cowboys in the draft.
I agree.
That's probably where it's going to be more important, but we'll see what the Cowboys do. Maybe they're in on a venture wide receiver on the cheap. We'll see.
But they only save $3.3 million by cutting Devontae Parker, and they only owe him $8.7. So I don't think they're going to cut Devontae Parker.
I think they're locked in with Cedric Wilson, Devontae Parker, and Waddle. So we'll see.
Yeah, but this probably means there's one fantasy relevant thing from this. I think Hunter Long is not it, because they just signed a wide receiver to a significant deal, which means that he's going to play, which means that they're probably going away from 12. And they have Gesicki on the franchise tag, and I think they're going to work out a long-term deal with Gesicki. I think Hunter Long is just kind of done. He's just not going to be it. I don't think.
Oh, here's a fun fact from our buddy Matt. He tweeted out, the Bengals are paying Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd just under $20 million. The Jaguars will pay Christian Kirk just about the same amount.
Oh my God.
There's a fun little fact for you on this Monday. So
Yeah, that is obscene. To be honest, like it's obscene. It's still a hard thing to believe even now. But yeah, Hunter Long to me is really kind of a dead in the water then. Okay, so let's see. So we covered Ertz deal. What about we didn't even cover the biggest news, which I also did a video on, which Brady coming back. Will Fuller is a free agent. It was just a 1-year deal, so he can't be cut.
Gonna be wherever Deshaun goes. Honestly.
Probably. Okay. Tom Brady came out of retirement. Give me your like snap reaction.
Wasn't surprised, but kind of surprised, in a sense.
Yeah, I was surprised. I'll be honest with that. I was surprised. But he's back. So Kyle Trask is now back to being a clear backup. Nobody else is going to Tampa. Stock up for Evans. Stock up for Godwin. Gronk is probably coming back. Fournette is probably coming back, but we don't know that yet. But really stock up for Evans. Evans was the one I'm worried about. Kind of the same thing. A little with Claypool and Deontay. More confidence in the not Evans type receiver to succeed with anybody.
I feel that, yeah. I get behind that. I mean, obviously this is also good for, we talked about earlier, Leonard Fournette. He's probably going to come back. It's not...
Well, if he comes back, we don't know.
I think he does, though. I think Ronald Jones is the odd man out. I know we don't know that, but...
Well, Ronald Jones sucks, so... he... we don't know where he's going to go. He could go to Kansas City. That could pair everybody that I dislike in one backfield. But with that said, I think Mike Evans is similar actually to what I said about Aaron Rodgers. Now is your opportunity. You make your decision now. This is the most Mike Evans' value will ever be again. Brady just came back. Evans had a great year last year. He's going to be 29 before the season starts. He turns 29 in August. It's now or never. You either sell Mike Evans now and get what you can, take what you can, or you just hold Mike Evans for the rest of his career in Dynasty. Those are your options. I'm on the sell side typically, but I'm fine. If I could get, what would you want? You think you could get maybe, what would be a good, you think you get Michael Pittman straight up for Mike Evans? That would probably be something I would try. Michael Pittman straight up. Devonta Smith plus. I think maybe Devonta Smith plus you could do.
Yeah, kind of. I think the worst you could do is try and get the Klein.
Yeah. I think you get Amon-Ra plus. You get Amon-Ra plus for Evans.
I'd wait a little bit. I'd wait on that one. I think.
Yeah, I might wait, but I just think there's a lot of things you can do.
I got the Cedric Wilson numbers for you.
Numbers.
3 years, $22.8 million, 12.75 guaranteed.
Okay. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
But considering they're only paying Parker like $8 million cap hit, $7 million on another receiver, and then Waddle's rookie deal, I do think that means they're not signing any other wide receivers. They're not signing someone else. So those are gonna be their receivers. They might draft. Honestly, they're not gonna draft someone. They spent the 6th overall pick on Waddle. They could draft some. Any team could always draft a day 3 wide receiver. Any team is always in play for that. But I don't think they're gonna spend one of their day 1 or day 2 picks on a wide receiver. I think they're out of the running for that now.
Yeah. I can get behind that one.
I guess they could spend a 3rd rounder. They have, a pick at 101, but that's whatever. So yeah, Cedric Wilson. I guess at this point he probably should be rostered, but he just feels like a roster clogger to me.
Yeah, especially with Tua. I liked it more with Dak, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that. I honestly, I think Cedric Wilson's value has gone down. I think I'd rather him before. I think I was happier before.
Oh yeah, especially after Amari Cooper got traded. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That basically 1 week.
Yeah, with Dak. Because the problem here is like, even if Devontae Parker gets injured, you can't use Cedric Wilson. Whereas in the other situation, if someone got injured, you could use Cedric Wilson. So
yeah,
actually not really so interested in Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, wide receiver money today has been wild.
I know. It's crazy.
I'm interested.
Okay, so this is the next thing on the show sheet, and also the next thing on, the comments. Kirk Cousins extension. So it was a 1 year, $35 million fully guaranteed, and saved them $10 million in cap this year. So essentially that means that Kirk Cousins, they've now committed to another year of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm fine with that from a fantasy perspective.
I'm okay with it. I mean, yeah, for a fantasy perspective, I think it's better than your average replacement would be for your receivers, because he doesn't run at all and he's a pretty good passer.
Yeah, NFL wise, that's a different story. But we're a fantasy show here, so we're going to stick to that. But I'm okay with this with Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a good thing. Yeah, this is a good thing.
This is good for them. So, Irv Smith as well, coming back off the injury.
Yeah, Irv Smith could be a sleeper. But yeah, no, it's good. In Superflex, it definitely raises his value slightly. But also, look at it this way. What do you think the odds were that Kirk Cousins wasn't a starting quarterback in 2023? Forget the extension. Let's say there was no extension. What do you think the odds were that he just wasn't a starter in 2023? I would say almost zero, other than an injury.
0.1. Yeah, 0.1.
Yeah, almost zero. He was going to start next year no matter what. So I really didn't raise his value very much. I moved him. I had him behind Derek Carr. Now I have him ahead. If Derek Carr gets his extension, it'll be switched right back to Derek Carr being ahead. So barely moved him in Dynasty. We talked about that. FF Lefty was tricked by a fake tweet.
Ooh, they always come around this time of year. They get you the little cloud that looks like a check mark.
Mm-hmm. Or the 7.
Ooh, the 7. I hate that.
So what about Kareem Hunt? How do we feel about Kareem Hunt this season? I'm okay with him.
Yeah. Is he going to be gone? Do you think he's going to?
No. I think he's still going to be there. Why would you cut him? You're only paying him $6 million. I think he's worth it. He's good.
I think he's worth it too, but I just had to ask after they tendered Dearness Johnson. It was just a question. I don't think they do.
They use the original round tender, and I think someone's going to sign him to an offer sheet. And they get no compensation. The only thing they have is the right to match.
Yeah, if someone does put a little...
No, I do expect someone to sign Dearness Johnson to an offer sheet.
Like a really weird kind of contract?
Not weird. I just think that someone will sign him to an offer sheet. And the Browns then the Browns get to decide, do they want to keep Kareem Hunt for $6 million, or do they want the offer sheet and keep Johnson and cut Hunt? My guess is they decline the offer sheet and just keep Hunt for $6 million.
Yeah.
And then if they keep Hunt, I mean, he's a handcuff and he has some value, but I'm just not jumping for joy about Kareem Hunt at this point. Yeah. It's just been so long since it's already been like 3 years and 3.5, 4 years since the prime Kareem Hunt days. Okay. What's next? Next is, okay, so we've gotten to everything. Finally, we covered everything that happened before today, with Kirk Cousins being the last one. So now we're on to things that have happened today. So we have Chase Edmonds, James Conner, Mitch Trubisky, and Christian Kirk that we put on the show sheet beforehand. Chase Edmonds, we really haven't talked about much at all. We touched a little bit at the beginning.
No, I mean, that was the first domino. I was kind of shocked. I didn't see Miami going out and signing someone like Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I actually did a thread on Chase Edmonds on Twitter, and I predicted that he would go to the Texans, which was not good, obviously. Miami's a better landing spot than the Texans. But he's someone who worries me that they could still draft someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's a pretty hard sell to me. I'm really not interested in Chase Edmonds at all.
I agree. I mean, his value did go up a ton today, so because, like you said, earlier, people think they're done.
It went up a little, but it didn't go up that much. I mean, this is kind of, if you look at the range of outcomes for Chase Edmonds, like, this isn't a great offense. It's not a big contract. This is a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so
It's a 1-year deal. So
the ceiling's like what? RB 17, 18.
yeah. I mean, this is not like a great thing. So
yeah, he's not going to get the touchdowns that James Conner did last year.
No.
But...
And honestly, like there were better destinations. So
oh wow. Speaking of the Dolphins just signed Teddy Bridgewater. Is that a quarterback competition?
No, it's not. It's a backup.
I just had to ask.
Nah, it's a backup.
We'll see the money. It's a backup probably, but we'll see the money.
No, they had Jacoby Brissett. It's a 1-year deal to be. I mean, what I see here is it's a 1-year deal to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So he thinks he's the backup.
Never know. I mean, especially with that ownership group, you just never know.
Yeah. But he's the backup. He's the backup for now.
Yeah.
But he's more competent than Brissett. But yeah, unfortunately, Bridgewater did not get another chance at a starting job. And I think that he's one of those people who got squeezed by Brady coming back. He might have had a better chance without that. But with Brady coming back, I think there was just... And this also tells me that the Colts did not call him. And the Colts didn't call him. I don't think they're going to call Mariota. I think that the Colts have their eyes set on Jimmy G.
I mean, this further solidifies it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Teddy Bridgewater is now off the table. Off the starting table as, a potential starter. And that's, I really think that's kind of where he belongs. I think he's a backup.
Yeah.
Personally.
I agree that Schefter's tweet said he was the backup. I didn't see that before I said something, but you never, like I said, you never know with this ownership group. We've heard the stuff, but yeah, backup.
But at this point, like Teddy Bridgewater in Superflex Dynasty, like he's worth nothing.
No, he's not one of those Trubisky Mariota types from last year, a couple of years back that could net some value or start it again. So
yeah, no, I think that we've seen enough of Teddy Bridgewater, and I don't even consider him to be like, he's not even someone, I mean, I guess I would hang on to him just in case, but I don't think a team is ever going to go back to Teddy Bridgewater as a starter. So I think I'm good. Just kind of, he's now in the veteran backup like Jacoby Brissett was, and, Nick Foles has been for quite a long time kind of thing. You don't need to spend... I would still probably roster Teddy Bridgewater just because, like, he seems to have, like, a little bit more hope than those guys. But, I don't think it's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's, he had his chance and it's over. Does Chase Edmonds help Tua? Yes, but not as much as Breece Hall would have.
That's 200% correct.
Sure. But I think he's a median signing. There were other signings that could have been better.
Yeah. I could get behind that. It's tough. But
yeah, this Cedric Wilson deal is very interesting to me, honestly.
Yeah. Brett's having a time over there, or Dolphins fan.
Yeah, they're really busy trying to improve that team, but I don't like the Cedric Wilson deal for him at all. So he just kind of stays in that roster clogger range.
Yeah, like the more on Dallas. I mean,
oh yeah, way more.
I don't know what the next domino to fall is going to be. Maybe Allen Robinson. I mean,
well, what's left?
Robinson and Juju.
I mean, Jameis Winston is left. Jameis Winston is still out there. He's there. There's Allen Robinson.
Shark
for sure. Melvin Gordon.
Fournette,
Garoppolo being resolved. Juju is not done. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next was Connor, the big Connor contract. I I think we're pretty good with that. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a short-term asset, but in Dynasty, you got to be careful because no matter what the contract says, a running back at that age can go out the door at any time. But like, again, if you want to make the case for Connor over Zeke, I see the case.
The case is there.
Case is there. So, Connor, but I just know, I think we learned from when we did this with Kenyon Drake on this same team the first time.
Yeah.
Not to do this again.
Yeah, that was. I remember that playoff run very vividly in fantasy playoffs, where he's just the best player on the planet.
I also just know that like people are gonna go for him in like mid RB2 range, so I'll just never have James Conner.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, people see the contract, they see security. The guarantee was good for Connor. I'm happy for him. He got a good contract.
Yeah, I'd rather have Connor over guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Damian Harris, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson. Players like that who are just never promised to produce you anything. But I'd still rather have guys with more upside like Jacobs, Etienne, Montgomery, and Carter even.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting comparing him to like Miles Sanders, A.J. Dillon, and Aaron Jones and Zeke. Because A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones have so much. I think they're both better players than Connor. But A.J. Dillon is stuck behind Aaron Jones. I could see myself moving Connor above Jones and Zeke. But I think A.J. Dillon would be where it stops. Because one injury to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon is a Dynasty RB1. So I think I'd rather take my chances. And then Miles Sanders, I still believe, has some talent. Even if I don't like him.
I get
yeah, so he'll fall in that high-end RB3, low-end RB2 range, which means I'll never have James Conner. But, as I said on Twitter, a lot of what I'm concerned about with James Conner is that I love seeing him get the money. He has a great story. He beat cancer, and I'm just really proud of him as a person and as a player, more so than anything fantasy related. So then moving on to the Trubisky signing, we talked about that a lot, I feel like, but we still don't have the money, do we?
No, we still don't have the money.
Still don't have the money. Okay.
Also,
well,
this is defensive, but I feel like it's good enough to break on the pod.
Yeah, go for it.
We here for it. We here for defensive signings.
I'll allow it.
The Chargers are signing cornerback J.C. Jackson from the Patriots.
Wow. So, the Chargers they're really making big moves.
They're going for it. So, yeah.
I thought
that was good enough because he was the top.
I think that is, yeah.
Agent. Yeah. So,
wow.
Good for the Chargers. Big move.
Yeah. I love it.
But yeah, we talked about Mitch Trubisky enough. I like him more than you do, but it's understandable.
Yeah, in Dynasty. Okay, so let's just go through the players then. So I think there's pretty much everyone has these 21 quarterbacks in Superflex that have, real value with like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, and Zach Wilson, being the final ones in that group. And I assume you would prefer all of them to Mitch Trubisky, all of those players. What I think it gets interesting is after that. So after that, I have Tom Brady at 22, which is, I guess he's hard to rank, but I would rather have Brady over Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Baker, Daniel Jones, Jimmy G, Wentz, Mills, Winston, then Trubisky, and then Goff, and then Ryan after that.
Yeah, I feel like that's like kind of a tier. I'd probably put Mills and Trubisky closer to the top. Mills obviously first out of the names he said.
Yeah, I just think that, Baker and Daniel Jones, their franchises want those two to be their franchise quarterbacks, whereas everyone else after that is a placeholder.
Well, the Giants kind of, maybe the Steelers, like I said, it all depends on the money. Maybe the Giants didn't offer as much money as the Steelers did. We don't know.
Well, the Giants were offering him a backup job. The Steelers were offering him a chance to start. So, of course, I just think that the reason I have Baker and Daniel Jones at the top of the list is because those franchises actually want those players. I disagree with them. I think that my Giants being one of them, and the Browns, I disagree. I don't think they should want those players, but they do. They want those players to be their starter. Whereas, Jimmy G is still not on a team. If Jimmy G were traded to the Colts and given a contract extension, he would move to the top of that list. For me, he would be the first. If the Colts committed further than just the 1 year, then he would move to the top of that list. but then everyone after that, I mean, Carson Wentz, obviously they don't want him to be their starter. He's just a placeholder. Davis Mills, they lucked into him. They're committed to him at all. And then, Jameis hasn't signed yet. But I'd rather have Trubisky over like Goff or Ryan, who just have no hope to me. But yeah, also if Jameis Winston signs like a big deal with the Saints, he would move above Baker or Daniel Jones as well. And yeah, the money on Trubisky will affect it a little bit. I could see him moving up to the top of that tier. That is a really giant tier from Baker to Goff and Ryan, I guess. Ryan is weird in that tier because he's the only old guy in that tier.
Yeah, I agree with the tier, but I just move different players around, Davis.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. I mean, really, I don't see much of a difference in value between Baker Mayfield and, Jared Goff.
No.
Jared Goff is the one I kind of don't trust. If I had to pick one that I really don't trust all that much. So he's the one where I'm the most skeptical, but
one more year, and then it's one of those things where he's going to get one more year, and then he's gone for good.
Yeah, I know. What about Jordan Love? I think he's in the next tier down at this point.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, 2 years of Rodgers, that's basically all of Love's rookie contract. So it's tough. No teams are trading for him either, so you gotta.
You like that?
Same thing happened. The teams are dropping their Super Bowl odds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mitch helped them. I think they were better off with any possibility of Watson than they were with Mitch.
Definitely.
And then the last thing is now the Kirk.
The Kirk mega deal.
Yeah, I still can't believe it's won as much cash as it was.
So that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
So you expect him to, like we said, be the number one in the offense, get all the targets, be the main focal point. But like you said, are we going to see it?
I mean, I can tell you what we're not going to see. We're not going to see any relevance for Laviska Shenault. I am now done.
Sad.
So sad. But, I mean, he's dead in the water.
It's very hard to come out of a situation where you got outplayed by the fifth string last year.
I know. He got outplayed by Jamal Agnew and Laquan Treadwell. So, Chargers picking up a lot of defensive guys who are going all in with Herbert on his rookie deal. I love it. Think they signed anyone on the offensive side? No. I think Mike Williams was their signing. I mean, what about tight end? I mean, tight end, I guess, but they could sign Evan Ingram. I don't like
that
it.
market got dried up so quick with those franchise tags.
I know there really isn't anyone. It's just Evan Ingram. So I guess they could sign Evan Ingram, but I don't think they do.
Maybe they go trade McBride in the second. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, or maybe they just re-sign Jared Cook on a 1-year deal again.
That'd probably be the way to go. But yeah, 5 for 82.5 on that J.C. Jackson deal, by the way. So
crazy,
heavy money.
Yeah. So did we cover everything? We covered everything on our show sheet.
Yep.
I think we yeah. I mean, I think we're good.
Live.
Yeah, we got everything live too. So yeah. I just appreciate everyone who watched this kind of marathon show. If you're here, hit the like button, leave a comment. If the subscribe button is still red, make sure you hit it so you're subscribed. And yeah, you can find us on our Twitters that are down there, right below us.
That was the wrong hand.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that. Happy free
free
agency to you
yeah.
too. And yeah, I'm going to try to do more of those short videos from time to time. No promises. I have to actually be home to do them. But, if I'm home and there's news, I'll try to hop on for those short live streams a little bit more often. And and they sit there after I'm done, even if you don't catch them live. Yeah. We will be back next week to cover everything we didn't cover today. And I will see you all then.
Yep. See yous.